Yeah, so like you mentioned Scott Atlas earlier. Scott Atlas is a colleague of mine at Stanford. I didn't know him well before the pandemic, but we've gotten to be real good friends since. He got called by President Trump in July, I think, of 2020, several months after the lockdown had started. I think Trump, he was having second thoughts about the lockdowns that he himself had instituted. And so he brings in Scott Atlas. Scott is an honest scientist. He's just an honest guy, right? So he and I are sharing papers, like a lot like political papers, like literally scientific papers for months up to July. And for scientists, it's kind of an exciting time. Like, how often do you get to see a new disease, right? I'm learning about it in real time. It's really quite exciting. I'm talking to Scott about here's what we've learned, and so he gets called by President Trump to be an advisor. The Tony Fauci and Debbie Birx basically view him as like the enemy. He's sharing papers with them, papers that he and I have discussed. He's showing it to them, and they won't look at his papers. These are scientific papers, not his papers. These are papers by other scientists in peer-reviewed journals. They're not interested in the science at all. President Trump, I think his instincts were to listen to Scott, but like his political people were telling him if he fires Fauci or Birx, he's going to lose the re-election. I mean, and of course he lost anyways. So you have this like there's this perfect storm where no one's listening to the scientific data. Scott's trying to tell people here's the scientific data, and there's this huge like pushback to him in the press. Like he's getting absolutely destroyed by the Washington Post and New York Times. And on campus, 100 people signed this letter. Friends and colleagues of mine signed this letter accusing Scott of essentially being a pseudoscientist, accusing him of not even really being in favor of hand washing, which was ridiculous. I mean, he was an honest scientist. He used to be the head of neuroradiology at Stanford. They knew him, and yet they attacked him. The person who organized the letter against Scott was a personal friend of Tony Fauci.